Hello, welcome to the 360 Method, a weekly podcast where we talk about everything Autism 360. Each week, we'll be catching you up with what's going on in the program, chatting with team members, and talking all things mindset, as well as exploring relevant ideas that autism parents think about. This week, I am joined by the delightful and stunning Renae, our special and delightful mindset and behavior coach. Welcome back. It's lovely.
Hello. Thank you, Ella. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here again, and lovely to discuss a very nice topic, very good for this time of the year.
It is, isn't it? It's very seasonal, parenting joy. And I'm your host, Ella Bailey. I'm an Autism 360 veteran coach, just had my 3rd anniversary at the company, right? And I'm an explorer of all things parenting support. Before becoming an Autism 360 team member, I worked in psychological research and behavioral psychology. And welcome to you, the stars of our show, our lovely listeners. We care about you and your experiences, so whether you're a program member or not, we would love to hear from you. Please do drop us a line at hello@autism360.com. We love your questions. I always ask your questions to our special guests, and we would love to get your feedback as well. So before we start, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal and Wangal people of the Eora Nation, on whose land I live and work, and from where this podcast is being broadcast today. And also mention that this podcast does not substitute as medical advice. If you're concerned about yourself or about a loved one, please do access medical advice. And today we get to talk about the loveliest of all topics, parenting joy. I feel like this is totally in your wheelhouse, Renae.
Yes, well, it's actually one that we discussed in our group mindset coaching session the other day, and I thought very relevant for this time of the year. I think a lot of parents are and children are tired at this time of the year, and our carers as well. And I think sometimes when we're like that, we start to lose a bit of that joy, and it would be really nice to get that for the holidays, for Christmas, and just find ways to be able to put that into your day every day, regardless of what's happening. Of course, we all want to feel that joy. And I think a lot of what I find, a lot of parents, they get into a bit of a trap where they compare their children a lot to other children. And I find this all the time. It's one of the things that parents talk to me a lot about on the program. They say, I can't stop. I just, get often comparing, and it really, comparison is the thief of joy. And I think that's something that we really need to remember, that when we're comparing, we really lose our joy and our enjoyment of our own children. So in the group session the other day, one of the parents actually said she's changed her mindset, and she's actually stopped comparing her child to other children, and she's actually started comparing her child to where her child was in the past, and has started actually looking at that progress and those milestones. And she said, I just feel so much better because I can see that we're making so much progress. My child has, changed and progressed so much. And it just really changed her whole experience of parenting. And so I just thought that was a really important one to remember. Maybe just instead of comparing to other children, look at how your child is progressing, developing those small milestones, those big ones, whatever they are. That's going to really bring you a lot more joy and make you feel great. And that's what it's all about, is enjoying them and their unique qualities, and just how they're going. And we do see a lot of progress on the program. So that's something that I think a lot of parents really, when they look back even in just 3 months, it's like, wow, I can't believe how much we've achieved. So make sure you take time to reflect on that and enjoy those successes and those wins. So yeah, that was the first one I wanted to cover today, Ella. The second tip that I had was also thinking about what brings you joy. So often we're not really consciously aware of those things that bring us enjoyment in our life, and they can be big things, but they're often often small things. I know myself, I was listening to some beautiful rainforest music the other day, and I was just like, it was so enjoyable. It was just lovely. And, it may just be those little things like having a laugh with your child, maybe just getting out in the sunshine and, getting that beautiful sun on your back. Maybe it's ringing up a friend and having a bit of a laugh and a chat. But just get clear about what are those things that do bring you joy, because often they're actually small things that makes us the happiest. So it doesn't have to be, oh, well, when that's happening, then I'm, all these big things that we wait for. Just get clear about that. Write down your list of things that bring you joy, and make a conscious effort to put those things into your life. Even if it's once a week, I make an effort to do something that brings me some joy. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time either. So that was another one that I think we could all benefit from.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
There's something that this makes me think of, which is that this time of year, lots of schools are doing award ceremonies. Now, award ceremonies for me are an interesting, almost social microcosm of rewarding sort of milestones and achievements and behaviors and those sorts of things. And often they're a minefield for parents of kiddos who don't fall within that typical development, or they may not, really be up for any awards or anything like that. And that can be such a thief of joy, right? Like,
yes, it's such a good point, Ella.
Yeah. And I think what it makes me think of, especially your first point, was, okay, maybe your kiddo isn't going to get an award this year, but can they attend the award ceremony when last year they weren't able to manage the sensory discomfort, but now they have better strategies to help themselves cope with that? What an amazing achievement. Like, no, they're not getting a reward, but what are they doing? What are they able to do? And that is a really, actually, the reason that I think of it is because, I have had multiple clients today whose children have been at award ceremonies, end of year ceremonies, dance concerts are all happening this time of year. And it can be a really stark contrast when your kiddo, it's not going to happen for them necessarily, but what is going to happen for them, like really seeking out those moments of joy and really choosing to not compare yourself to, Joe Brainiac who's getting 50 bajillion awards kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right. And they all have their unique qualities and talents. And I think it's just remembering that as well, that they may not be strong in that area, but maybe they're stronger in different areas. And I know myself, there was times where they might have gone for a few years without getting awards at the ceremonies, but then, down the track, who knows, like things can definitely change. So it doesn't mean that will never happen, but as you said, it's about celebrating those wins and successes. That really are the things that matter the most. Yeah, so the other thing I thought would be a lovely project for the families over Christmas, and this is the concept of having a joy jar. And I just love this idea because it actually is a jar that you could make with your children, do for over Christmas or whenever. And just what it is you actually look for things each day that bring you joy, or anything that you like about the day, and you actually write it down on a bit of paper and you put it in the joy jar. And I love this idea because I think it really gets us to start looking at those things that we can appreciate and be grateful for. It might just be, I enjoyed sitting and having a cuddle with my child today, or I enjoyed that, we were able to just have a really good day together, whatever those little things are. But the whole idea is that it really starts to shift your focus to things that are more joyful. And the other part I really love about this, also the children, I think it's nice for them to be consciously aware of that as well. But the other thing I really like about this idea is that whenever you need a bit of a pick-me-up or a lift, if you're having a bit of a day where you're like, I'm not feeling great today, maybe you're not seeing all those lovely things and feeling joyful, you can go back through the joy jar and have a look at all those little bits of paper and really find enjoyment in that as well. So that was just one I thought that would be lovely to do as a family, really enjoy that and make that a bit of fun.
Absolutely. I have a journaling prompt that I journal every day, and I start every day with journaling just a one line of something that I'm grateful for. And I've found a real mood booster is to go back through my previous years of journals and look at those one line of gratitude. And oh my goodness, it's something that's so simple, but being able to be like, oh yeah, I am really grateful for that. I guess it's kind of saying a similar thing to a joy jar.
Absolutely. It shifts your focus, and really it is so much mindset, isn't it? So just shifting our mindset can just change everything. So, hopefully this today does help our listeners become more aware of just how you can put some joy in your life again and enjoy that parenting journey so much more just by doing some simple strategies. Shifting your mindset really makes a very big difference.
Yeah. Mindset is king when it comes to these sorts of things. I think the idea of joy is actually made up of a bunch of different kind of individual concepts. A lot of people think that happiness and joy are the same thing, but I think that there's more to it than that. Happiness is really fleeting, or can be really fleeting. It's an emotion that kind of comes and goes, whereas joy is a more permanent state. That being said, they're very interlinked, but something that I find brings me a lot of joy is knowing what role having a really positive emotion has on my overall outlook. So I might be having a really tricky day, clients are struggling, work is really busy, whatever it might be. And I know that I'm having all these negative emotions or whatever, that doesn't impact my joy. Kind of as a long-term state, having negative emotions in the moment doesn't impact my joy, my love for life, my gratitude. And I think that being able to remember that negative emotions are fleeting, they come and they go, it can be something that's helpful in terms of being able to see the bigger picture of the stories of our lives. That being said, a funny dog video, dancing to the Beauty and the Beast soundtrack, they're my go-tos when I need a bit of
need to top up.
Yeah, absolutely. Just fill in that cup. The Beauty and the Beast soundtrack, it's my go-to.
I like that one too. Brings back lots of happy memories with my children, actually. So yes, those little things, just, being clear about what they are. That's why I think write it down, because you could have some things that very quickly you could go to whenever you need that pick me up. And also, Ella, one of the things I think that makes a really big difference is, as you said, you start your day in a very intentional way, writing down what I'm grateful for, setting yourself up, managing your state, which when you do that, things can come at you throughout the day and it doesn't impact you as much. It's like you've sort of got control of yourself and your state, rather than being, just really influenced by whatever the day throws at you. So it really is important. And I talk to a lot of parents about that. Could you do even 5 or 10 minutes for yourself when you wake up, or while you're lying in bed? Go through some things to be grateful for. Or could you get out and do a quick walk? I know everyone's situation is different, but I think if you could find something that helps you put yourself in that positive, joyful state, it really makes a very big difference, and you're just able to manage things better. Even if the children are mucking up or something's not working out, or you've got some difficult situations, you're able to really just deal with things a lot better. So maybe just have a think about what you could do in the morning, or at whatever time of the day, but the morning is definitely a good way to set yourself up for the day.
Yeah, I've started meditating in the morning, which feels very I don't know, a bit bougie, maybe is the word. I meditate in the mornings, but I've started using Headspace, the app, which works really well for me because it sets out your day in terms of your morning meditation practices. They're super short, 1 to 3 minutes. And then it gives you a kind of afternoon pick me up. And then it gives you a wind down for the end of the day. So you don't have to figure anything out yourself. You don't even have to go in and pick the meditation that you want to do. It just lays everything out for you. However, all of that is behind a paywall, but there is a really good alternative, and it's an Australian app called Smiling Mind, and they do just as good free meditation options, free guided meditation. I find that much more accessible than trying to meditate of my own accord, and that's made such a difference to my overall, I want to say, quality of life. Just taking that time in the mornings to wake up and meditate. And that kind of thing has really changed things for the better, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are open to that now. A lot of the parents I talk to about meditating, they're really on the mindset program. They're very open to it, and they're like, yes, I am, or I really like to. And we look at how could you just find that, as you said, it might be 1 minute, might be 5 minutes, but it's something that I think is really a lovely thing to do for yourself and fill your cup up, and that definitely makes a really big difference to how you feel and your enjoyment in life in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that this podcast provides a little bit of that for our lovely listeners, just a little bit of understanding, maybe some laughs, and also just being able to choose some joy in your day. Is there anything that you would like for our parents to take away and give a try this week, Renae?
Look, I really think the joy jar is a great idea and something I think is a nice thing to do with your children. I think that just doing that would be a great takeaway. Make sure you action something from today. That's what I always say really makes a big difference. It's one thing to know it and to hear it, but if you could put one thing into action, that will really start to get that positive momentum happening for you, and you'll notice the difference. Give it a week and look back, and you'll start to realize that you're feeling a lot better. So I just really encourage you to think, what could you do, whether it's writing down that list of things that bring you joy, maybe it's doing some meditation, perhaps it's the joy jar. I think that's a nice holiday project to do anyway, for all of you. I hope you have some fun with that.
Yes. You know what, Renae? I think we should make a joy jar. Should we make a joy jar?
An Autism 360 joy jar. I love it.
Absolutely. You know what? We'll go on the Facebook group and I'll make a post and we can do our own digital joy jar.
Wonderful. I love it. Yes. And we can get the parents involved and the carers involved, and that would be lovely. And everyone can share their wins and their joy and all those beautiful things. It's contagious. It really is, isn't it?
It's contagious. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Deal. Pinky promise. I'll go do it.
Love it.
Thank you so much for joining me this week, Renae. It's always so lovely to have you back.
Thank you. I love being here, and I wish everyone a wonderful holidays, and look forward to the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, our lovely listeners. We'll be back next week with another topic that is relevant to you, what you're thinking about, and also to your kiddos. So until then, let's bring progress home.